So here he is. Rob Trice has a long history with the Telecom Council, one of the original founding members of the group that was at the heart of the Telecom Council, the service provider investment forum, as was actually Ursula down there as well. So multiple years working together with the telecoms in the Bay Area, originally with Nokia Investment Partners, then through SK Telecom, and now working with Swisscom. That's correct. So should I let you introduce yourself, or did I just do it?
No, that was perfect.
All right, so this is Rob Trice, everybody. I will let everyone introduce themselves as we go down the way, and then we'll launch into a bit of discussion. I'll let you pick off the first couple of questions. How that sound? All right, here you go.
Mark Daneil, I lead consumer product marketing efforts for AT&T Foundry, which is a set of innovation centers based here in Texas, Atlanta, and Israel.
So my name is Tracy, Isacke. I run the Silicon Valley office here called Telefonica. Primarily looking at investments, but also focusing on our global partnerships and our direct-to-bill function within Telefonica.
Can we bring up slides?
Pardon me?
Is this good time to bring up slides?
Yes,
or just
slides.
read?
You can do your slides if you got them up.
Yeah.
Do we have slides for China Mobile?
Yeah, my name is Daneil. I'm a director at the China Mobile USA Research Center. Next slide. So our research center primarily has three functions. The first one is innovation and technology scouting. The second one is we had a lot of projects working collaboratively with headquarters and China Mobile Research Institute. The third one is we're working with local labs and small startups to do some collaborative research. Next one. So yesterday you probably heard a lot of TD-LTE updates from product, so I want to repeat that. I think the key takeaway is that TD-LTE is real and it's massive, and we need a lot of help. Next one. So China Mobile, in terms of how we work with China Mobile, we actually interface China Mobile research institute pretty very closely, sometimes on a daily basis on certain projects. And in addition, we send out updates and proposals to the China Mobile headquarters and their functional teams and their individual companies. And in our influence in the past year, we have arranged about 40 meetings in Silicon Valley between our managers and our executives. And those companies are not big names like Cisco, Qualcomm, and Intel. Some are actually only 5 people startups. So clearly the culture is slowly changing. And in terms of initiatives, in the past 2 years we had established our group device company who focused on the device distribution and all the OEM management and all the kind of branding, those kind of things, and the retail stores. And another company is called a Group Government and Enterprise Company. This is actually one of the 3 areas of focus we are moving forward. So, as I said, we need a lot of help. Next one. So, next slide. So, in terms of China Mobile Research Institute, we have a lot of research activities. As you see, we listed pretty in detail on which areas we're actually actively doing. And in most cases, if you are a small startup, you have very innovative technology in those areas. It's a good way that we can collaborate to do some kind of experiment or some collaborations. And I think the last slide will share some view of what we are looking for. Next slide, please. So we have in wireless area we are rolling out our TD-LTE network. I think it's very important to make sure that our network is at least in par with FDD network. On the technical side, yesterday we said we are focused on VoLTE, and that is a lot of work. And the power management and the low power solutions are always on top of everybody. So, and the new new-age human-computer interfaces and some wearable devices are something we are very much interested in, and also the security solution are common area. So in terms of services, besides the enterprise services, which we are ready to sell the large Chinese enterprises, we are also looking to a video and a specific category. We are looking at social and crowdsourcing category. We are looking at home solutions, some voice intelligence, and business innovations. So network side, we have do some experiment on SDNs, and I think we would like to collaborate with Silicon Valley startups or companies to do some experiment in the lab. And also, we try to collaborate with you guys on a few standardization committees. So the cloud side, mostly we targeted is for the enterprise market. So we have cloud IaaS, SaaS solutions, and all the big data and analytics side. And M2M is also a huge category. So besides the business model, we are focused on the smart mobile health, smart city, and low cost, low energy sensors, and mobile education.
So I'm Ursula and I represent Swisscom. So Swisscom is the AT&T of Switzerland. Switzerland has the population of about the Bay Area, so a very small carrier. We've been here since 1998 to source innovation. And because we're so small, we really are dependent on startups. The Swiss customer is very demanding. There's also a lot of money around, so having leading cutting-edge technology is key. And we'll work in startups in different shapes and forms, from infrastructure, TV, to apps, to services. Also sometimes very early to trial and pilot, and sometimes later on to develop a project or just simply implement.
My name is Stephane Allaire. I'm the CEO of Winnovation. Winnovation is a 100% subsidiary of Bouygues Telecom. Bouygues Telecom is a French carrier with about 12 million wireless customers and 2 million wireline customers. And I work also for big groups. The name of the group is Bouygues. Bouygues is almost about 32 billion euro turnover every year.
So something from a purely administrative level, if I could ask the AV guys to turn up the monitors, because it's hard to hear the other panelists, and then I'm going to have to ask all of us in return to hold those microphones really close to your mouth so we don't get feedback as a result. And hopefully that's possible, because it's tough to hear. We want to make this discussion interactive. So Rob, I invite you to ask the first question. Be my guest.
So my comment, I was thinking about some comments that I heard through the conference over the last 2 days, and there seems to be a perception or misperception I'd like for you to address about carriers, and that carriers are looking for enabling technologies from established late-stage companies, and maybe not willing to look at early-stage companies, not willing to look at applications and services or 5-person companies. Could you just talk a little bit about whether that holds true? Is that indeed the case? And then also, you all have been here a while. How has that changed for you over time? Or not changed, as the case may be?
So can I start?
Yeah?
I'll jump in. So interestingly, I would say that was what we were doing 3 or 4 years ago. So before we actually had a presence, a true presence here in the Valley, most of our investments were really around, the core infrastructure and what could we do to make the core infrastructure go faster and better and quicker. And we've got some really good investments in companies in that space. In fact, we co-invest with you guys. When we created Telefonica Digital, we really separated the core of Telefonica from the new innovation services that we were trying to offer to customers. So almost we flipped the other way in that we do much more investment in companies that are about new products and services that are not necessarily anything to do with the core infrastructure. And in the last sort of year to 18 months, we've invested literally from convertible note in and a couple of A rounds right through to doing an acquisition. So we've gone right across the spectrum. And I think the key thing is, for startups trying to work with a big telco, is really understanding whether the products and service that you've got is at the right stage to be able to do something with a telco. So if it's about doing something that's innovative, new, fresh, and is going to be able to scale with you, that's great. It's probably harder to try and get something very early to scale very quickly, because we always look for a little bit more testing solution.
Mark,
I agree with Tracy, and I think, we're not here, especially from an innovation perspective, just to buy stuff. So we're really looking to partner, to collaborate, to understand technologies, and that usually means at a little bit earlier stage than the things we get from our normal suppliers. So one of the reasons we look outside of our walls in our office for these new technologies is because the big stuff has already been uncovered. We want to look for the next 2 or 3 years of opportunity that isn't going to necessarily come from a big company like ours. That's the reason we look outside.
hey, Ursula, how about from a small carrier?
A small great carrier.
Big carrier.
No, it's okay. Okay, so we really look at startups as a form of innovation, source of innovation. So we're very keen to get in very early and actually learn along the way. One example, for example, is Matrix, real-time billing, where we went in very early and we built a test bed in Switzerland. And then we did an open house and invited other carriers to come and see, because other carriers wanted to see our deployments. We actually had an open house together with Matrix. And in the meantime, 7 other carriers have signed up. So this is a win-win for both parties. Our Piston is also very early, an OpenStack platform we're using. Again, we're piloting, testing very early, co-creating, and we're providing them a landing spot in Switzerland for them to enter the European market. So there's a clear niche to come in early if you're interested in early understanding the technology and co-creation, co-learning. Or else for us as a small carrier, it's then much later when we are more interested in a product.
For us now, the French market is very tough, so we have, for example, some plan for 20 euros. We have a limited plan, unlimited text, unlimited data, unlimited code. So for us, the startup and the innovation is a way to differentiate. And we try to push more and more services because we cannot make the difference with the price. So we try to make the difference with the services. And to be here in the Silicon Valley and to be in the Bay Area, for us, it's the best way to open innovation and to get most of innovation to bring back to France.
Can I add? In general, I agree. It's very hard for a carrier for China Mobile to work with startups for some product rollout. But I think at China Mobile we have a platform. We have our own platform, so that's actually it's a better playground for them to integrate with China Mobile solutions. And to a certain level, if you work with China Mobile Research Institute or lab here, we can tailor your solution to certain needs of part of China Mobile. So we can kind of jointly roll out the solution together. For that part, I think it's much easier. So last year we have 6 companies introduced to our China Mobile Developer Conference in December. So I think that's a good start.
Can I add? I think for the startups, it's very important to decide what they want from the carrier, and from the carrier, it's also very important to decide, is this topic, does it get enough priority? Because whenever we work with a startup, it requires time and resources from our side. What we underestimate, both from the carriers and sometimes the startup, is the amount of time it actually takes in resources. And just if we work with a product development team, that doesn't mean that the product, that there's not a lot more work afterwards, because we need to integrate it into our marketing campaign if it's a product. We need to integrate it in the customer care. We need to make sure the shop people are educated on these new products. It requires a lot more resources. And so we have to make sure in the beginning that both the operator and the startup are willing to put the resources to make it work, because it always takes more resources than what we expect. And so
No, let me jump. I'm going to pass that as an opportunity for Mark to talk about, because you talk about how difficult it is for a carrier to channel the resources in working with a startup. So there's great halfway tools that we use, right? So you guys got the incubator. You tell how do you use that to kind of reduce the problem that Ursula was talking about?
And I apologize, I couldn't hear Ursula entirely, but I think
those are not the problems I'm talking about. That's the incubator.
No, it's just hard to really, you know, you can hear that it's hard to hear us over this.
No, that's okay. I think.
Yeah, for me, sorry, I'm talking about the comes after the incubator. It is the market launch, the marketing in the home, the customer care, all of those things. That's often not talked about.
Yep.
After the incubator.
Okay.
That's fair. You know, I think there is a point where you have to scale if you're in your business to care. And I think maybe some of the opportunities Innovation Centers offer is a chance to get a head start, to build a relationship, to understand what that scale looks like, work with your investors so that you're ready when that time comes. The analogy that we often got before we did this Innovation Center was working with the carriers like dancing with an elephant, through the mouse, and maybe not that great. And the reason we put these smaller output centers or outposts together is to offer a smaller staff where you'd be able to actually sit down, maybe one-on-one, before you get sucked into the supply chain, the network teams, the marketing teams. I love dearly all my colleagues, but I've watched them chew up many startups. So that's our concept on these Innovation Centers and why we've done it.
And if I may, in terms of just again jumping in, I think one of the things we're trying to do, and I think it's very much along the lines of what you're doing, and I'm sure we all take ideas and build on each other's ideas. We've tried to really break the business into, there's areas where you're really looking at discovery, and in those stages that might not be about how do you make that product that you go and sell tomorrow through a marketing team and you need all of the pieces in place. Then we talk about what are the sort of products that we might think are going to be disruptive to us at some point. So we kind of go, there's this discover phase, disrupt phase, and then there are services where you're going to be in deliver. And deliver is the side where you have to have what Ursula was just talking about, which is the real capability to go to market. But finding, I love the foundry. I've been to a foundry in Israel and in Palo Alto, and we've launched something called Wire, which runs across 13 of our countries. We've got 250 startups. Not all of those will ever have a chance of working with Telefonica, but their initial funding has come from Telefonica, and they'll learn a lot from us, and we'll learn a lot from them. But they don't all have to be telco ready. And I think to your point, we can kill a company, and we have to be so conscious of it. And we're trying to really separate things out into these two different groups that says, if we're in discover and disrupt, let's treat it internally and externally completely differently than if we want to have a deliver relationship that says, tomorrow we're going above the line with an ad campaign and our customers care people need to know about it.
I was going to ask a question. If you think about the carriers and carriers as a go-to-market channel, the perception in Silicon Valley has gone up and it's gone down. Maybe it's come back up. I'd like to get your thoughts about, I think there was a time where everyone thought you could just launch an over-the-top service and not use the carrier as a channel partner, particularly overseas, or using the depth of what AT&T can offer domestically here. So I wanted to get any thoughts you had about the carrier as a go-to-market channel for particularly the Silicon Valley startup or vendor, and then specifically point out one partnership that you're most proud of, where you've actually moved the needle for a company. I'm quiet.
I start. I'm proud of all the partnerships we signed, and now we signed more than 15 partnerships. Because the last one was in spring. It was with Co-moderators. With Co-moderators, I don't know if it's a startup in San Francisco, and we just signed an agreement with them. And now in France, all our customers can get unlimited storage in the cloud for €5 per month. So it's just a startup. We start working with them. We made a contract in 6 months, and now we have a new services in France for all our 12 million customers.
So one that we've just announced actually is with Evernote, and I know they're not a small startup, but we're really proud of it. It's a great company, and it's great to kind of see what you can do with a company like that, because I think what they do for us, first of all, is you suddenly make something a little bit more sexy for your customers that actually isn't just about how much does a call cost or what's the bundle look like. You're just offering them these new services and making it really easy for them to access them and giving them a bit of value creation in that. What we do for Evernote is you take a company here and say, you know what, we'll sort out tax implications in Brazil, we'll tell you how you can launch in Colombia, we'll tell you what you need to do in Chile, and actually for a company even like Evernote who has a lot of, a lot of strength and power, that's really hard, and that's really, really hard. I mean, we have challenges in our own internal taxation and legal requirements, so I think that's a really powerful thing. And the difficulty is you can't do that with 50 people. You can't do those kind of things with 50 people. You can't put 50 things on a device and do 50 partnerships. So it's really knowing when we can really add value and when actually it's going to be a much smaller play in a different part.
And you're doing co-marketing with them in Colombia or Chile or something like that, right?
Absolutely. So it's very branded as Vivo in Brazil or Oesterle. And it's branded as with the Evernote brand, and we're going with different campaigns and at different times. And the take-up, we've launched in Brazil so far, but the take-up is phenomenal.
So this is going deeper than just a distribution agreement where you put it up and install it on the phones and handsets. You're actually putting efforts into getting people aware of its presence and how to use it.
Absolutely, okay.
And that's a rev share too, right?
We can't discuss commercials.
Okay. Hey, I know with some other carriers it's been a rev share, and it's actually been a win-win. So I know that there's one carrier in Asia that a substantial number of the Evernote subscribers came through the carrier channel, like more than double digits.
And actually using that as a model, I think it's interesting because some of it is about what pure rev share might be. The other bit is, do customers become stickier as a result of having that kind of service? And I think the carrier you're talking about certainly found some of that.
And then to be clear, you're talking about the Evernote comes in the freemium, so it comes in free and premium, and the carrier could participate in the revenues in the premium market.
I think for the enterprise solutions, carrier still is an excellent go-to-market channel. But for consumer service solutions, usually, first of all, there's too many market options. And, other than just reload it on the phone and charge some downloading fees, it's very hard to justify putting additional resources to help your success.
Yeah.
Anyone else tackling Rob's last question?
Yeah, I'll take it.
And then Ursula after,
Oh, apologies. So I think one of the ones we're really proud of is a small Israeli company called Oesterle. They've got a self-optimizing network technology, very small company that we were able to pilot in the Foundry and during beta breakers in San Francisco, so small scale